I honestly believe one of the biggest problems we have in the United States, I'm sure y'all listen to the news, is our
Credit.
debt.
Mm-hmm.
Our debt. And I know people
All time
look
high right now.
it is. And why is that? I mean, if people are getting paid more, how are you more in debt? Because of our habits. You got to have some, I mean, I'm not saying don't enjoy your life, but there's habits that people have. I watch on a daily basis. I go,
People
wow.
spend it before it comes.
Absolutely, and on a nonsense stuff,
Yeah.
and it's all about upkeeping with the newer car. And I'm not saying don't get these things, but it's just know your level you're at in life. If you don't think you can afford it, get something you can afford.
Jordan year 23, we going 6-0 this year, you heard? Champagne everywhere, nigga. Turn nothing out of something, man, that's really something. Made a couple hundred bands, man, I'm really coming. On the gram, talking like you something. Alright, you're now tuned in to another episode of the Guns Up Club podcast. I am your host, Mikey. If you're new here, welcome. Nice to meet you. Hit the subscribe button. Like this video if you've been here. Welcome back. My voice is kind of bad today because of last night.
That's right.
All right, welcome. I have a guest today, Grum. G.
Yes,
I'll call you G, but
that's perfect.
I don't want to give the government out like
no,
that.
don't give anything. No last names needed.
Yeah. So G, welcome. Introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. My
And
name
talk
is
about what you do.
G. Okay, my name is Groom. I am from Orange County, California. I have a towing business that I operate. I'm also under, I guess you could say, works for a box truck business that I'm kind of navigating for upcoming few weeks. So that's pretty much what I do, and also have some couple of stuff on the side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's start. Let's start. Damn, my voice is bad today.
It's okay. Take your time.
We had a wild night. But let's talk about tow trucking business, right?
Yes.
Talk about how you started off with that. What sparked the idea for you to start
Okay.
to get in that lane?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I lost my job around 2015. I would say they were downsizing, and I was looking for another job in between. And a couple of friends and a friend of a family came and kind of advised me to get into that business, and I wasn't really into it, to be honest with you, because I just never saw myself as an entrepreneur. I just wanted to work a 9 to 5, survive, and see what happens. And then after I did a little bit of digging, found out that it gives us a little bit more than just I don't have to go door to door to pass out cards, and I found out there's ways of getting customers. And so that kind of inspired me. I said, you know what? If I don't have to go door to door, I can go ahead and start this business. And I had a little cash saved up, and I guess you can call it first time beginner's luck, and everything kind of went smooth.
Wow, that's crazy. So I mean, you heard about the idea, but you were
skeptical
Extremely. To pull the trigger.
Yes, sir.
And you still did.
I still did.
What made you pull the trigger?
Because I realized if I don't take a chance at that time, being a little bit younger, I figured I would never do it.
Say that again.
Yes, sir. If you don't take your chances at a younger age, it's a little difficult when you get older. So take your chances while you have, of course, calculated
while
chances.
You have time.
Yes, sir. While you have time, and anything, just the younger you can recover faster.
And it's funny. I want to say this to the audience that the people that dive, not die. Probably my accent, but you know what I mean. But
it's okay.
That dive in the ocean or whatever you want to jump off a cliff or whatever, jump. Because,
right.
The outcome from diving into the ocean.
Absolutely. I think
off the building, off the plane or whatever.
Right. I think your thought of fear is more scarier than getting on it. So it's like I'm petrified of height, right? So I've not done no skydiving yet, but the thought of it scares me more than...
There's always a thought, like once you start, it's really not that bad. Anything.
I mean, I'm sure right before I jump off, I'll be probably kind of scared. But once you throw me off, it's cool. And I'll get right back up, and I'm good. I think that's how life should be as well. When you do business, you jump, you might not, make it, but you do it again.
But then that feeling of like once you land on the ground, you're like, let's do it again.
Yes, sir. And I think the difference is that this is not life and death, so you can recover if something don't work out the way you expected it. So
facts.
You jump.
You've been operating for how many?
Well, total 7 years now, but I had a little bit of issue on the first business, with the first company. So I had to kind of, dissolve it, start over. But I had a lot of knowledge about the business, so when I started again, it was a lot more simple because you got
It comes with it. It comes with it. I mean, stuff about business always shit that happens.
Oh
in between.
man, it still happens. To be honest with you, I think it tests your limit. I mean, whomever you are, if you got fear or if you got anger issues, whatever, it'll humble you.
Right.
It'll humble you quick.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
7 years operating.
Yes, sir.
You're a one-man team.
For now, yeah.
But for a long time.
Yes, for a long time, yes.
Yeah. Talk about juggling like a company by yourself.
Oh my goodness, you're the accountant. You're the operator.
I come out and check.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you want to put it that way,
yeah.
That's the glamour portion. But the things that people don't see is it could be 2 a.m. and you just like get an idea. You just get on your tablet. I don't think I would have done that for any other company.
Because it's your own.
Yes, sir. So when you do that, it just kind of. So that does come with a lot of struggle, man. Because especially if you're not well versed in that field, until you get in very comfortable with it, it's very, very time consuming.
Yeah.
So you got to be obsessed. I've always said that. I think you have to be, in order to be successful, you have to have some sort of almost crazy obsession. Like Kobe Bryant always says, you got to have
the
some
Mamba
sort of
mentality.
Yes, sir. You got to be obsessed. If you hate it, you can't last long.
Yeah. Because you're just going to give up at one point.
Yes, sir.
So talk about, you're operating 7+ years, but
Yes, sir.
successfully. But talk about the challenges you went through.
Okay.
As a man running a business by himself.
Yeah.
Cutting checks for himself.
That's still the glamour. But, to be honest, Meek, it's just, I think the most difficult portion in this is it also matters on your personality, because my business is kind of a cutthroat and I don't have that behavior to start with. So it was difficult because a lot of.
What you mean, like?
Oh man, you can't basically you cannot let people you can't have sympathy. Yeah, you cannot have that much, especially the type of people you're hiring, because these people are not your scholars. Usually, most of the time, these people got some type of, blemish in their history. So I would say the best thing to do is to have that, separate the friendship. You cannot be my friend as my driver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people know that.
Got to draw the line.
Yes, sir. But even to begin with, and I think the challenges came in with money monitoring, monitoring your truck, what they're doing with it, are they declining calls? It's every person has their own personality. And when you fix this guy and you get a different guy, and he comes with a different problem. So it's still going on.
But that's from like the driver hiring somebody aspect. Any personal challenges that you went through that you want to speak about?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think the most difficult part, there's times you want to give up, man. Because it's just, you say to yourself, should I just stay safe and just get a 9 to 5 and just use your degree or whatever? But the challenge is just sometimes fear of not making enough, and then laws changing and prices changing on certain things, and you're like, man, how is this going to equivalate? How much I'm bringing in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
See, I appreciate the honesty, because sometimes we all feel like giving up. Anybody, what I'm saying? It could be the greatest, whatever, whoever.
That's right.
So, sometimes they might feel like fuck it, but what makes you use the fact that you keep going, no matter what.
Yeah, you just have either. That's why I think a lot of people. I mean, everybody. There's people out there who probably make more money than I do, and they still want to own their own business. I tell them, not everybody's made out for this, because you got to be able to take failures like it's gonna
a lot more
than the average person, and it's not easy. There's a time when you have fear to pay certain things, and you're like, man, my debt is going a little higher than I expected. But once you get over that hurdle, man, isn't that like working for yourself, brother?
Yeah, for sure. Because working for a company or a big company or having a regular 9 to 5, you're always shielded by the company. But at the same time, they could drop you like that.
Absolutely.
And then, you might go get another job or whatever, but you're always like amplifying the company, not yourself.
Never. And that's why I said earlier, you might be up at 2:00 in the morning, just kind of like, how can I make this better? I don't think many people can feel the same way about their company,
Yeah.
the company they're working for. They can't just say, oh my God, what can I do to make this company better? Because
Oh fuck no, I'm not waking up at 2 a.m.
to help out
wherever
somebody
I work
else's-
and be like, oh, I remember this thing I forgot. Fuck
yeah,
outta here.
nah, it's not exactly. You don't pay
I would
anybody.
do it for this or
Exactly.
like whatever. You know
And
what
the
I'm
thing
saying?
is, a little bit quick, I want to tell you something about salary people is they don't realize that they work more than 40 hours.
Oh yeah,
And you're not getting paid for that
yeah. Your mind is pacing about work all the time.
because they have you trapped. It's all the mental. It's like that elephant that was tied down when he was a little elephant. They put a little rope on him. He got so much bigger and he never broke out because he was just like, nah, man, I don't think I can do that. So I think that's the mentality. But like I said, not everybody can be an entrepreneur. That's the real truth.
That's crazy. That is crazy. You're right. Like, you bring in like, you know, there's people I know that just want to talk about work 24/7. I'm like, bro, you're off.
I can't turn them off. That's
Let me tell you this one. I have a Jewish friend. What he told me. I used to work with him, right? And then he said, I just asked him a random question. He was like, do you think about this when you leave? I was in college when I told him that. He was like, fuck no. He's like, fuck out of here. I'm not. He's like, the minute I'm off the clock, I don't think about work.
That's what's up.
Like, even if they call me, he's like, I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. I deal with it tomorrow.
That's really good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're off the clock. You're not gonna sit here talking about,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't go.
I don't know if many people have that though, because I know people that still stress it when they get home. You can see their mind is still working.
And they become habitual. Like when they talk about work
It's
to
gonna be
other
work.
people, it might feel like a flex and stuff. You know, some
Yeah.
people bring in their work.
Mm-hmm.
You can meet them at a bar or whatever. They're like, yeah, for work, blah blah blah. This happened, and then this motherfucker.
Yeah, they always whining
I'm
about
like,
it.
bro, like.
Get off, man.
Yeah,
You're off,
You're
man.
off the clock.
Yes,
You're at
sir.
a bar. Enjoy the bar.
Yeah.
Get some girls or something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You need to unwind. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yes, sir.
So we talked about your towing business.
Yes.
Are you looking to expand to like a bigger city?
Okay.
Buy more trucks? Like, what are your?
To be honest, I think for me, in order to grow, you need a team, and I don't know if I wanted to go that route yet. You know what I
You're
mean?
not ready.
Not ready for that yet because I want to kind of go utilize this income that I have to build something else that doesn't require as much time. You know, for example, the box truck business. There's
We'll
so
get there.
Oh, sorry.
I
Yes,
don't
sir.
wanna,
Yes, sir.
but-
You don't want to give it away,
Yeah,
SSCU,
yeah,
but
we're gonna transition.
yes,
to
sir.
that. Sorry to cut you
no
off.
worries. It's okay. So yeah, I just want to make sure. I think this is my gateway. I don't think this is my final destination.
I appreciate, you know, sometimes, like you said, knowing your timing and, you know, not rushing into like, all right, this is doing well. So let me get like 4 more trucks and move on to like, blah, blah, blah. But then the fact that you're saying, okay, I'm here. I'm not ready to like expand yet, but I feel like whatever earned income I make from this, I can transition it to something else.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
transitioning to box truck.
Good
See
to
how
that's
smooth
that
that was?
that was Lil Wayne kind of.
Yeah, that was smooth as
that
hell.
was really good, man. Yeah.
So, box trucking business.
Yes, sir.
How did that idea come about for you? And what made you pull the trigger with that as well?
Sure. So I've seen people around have it, but I just didn't feel like I was so focused on the tow truck. I didn't have a chance to even look into the box truck business. But someone approached me with an opportunity to, if they said, if you can go get a box truck, we can give you work. I said, what kind of work? They said, well, get a couple of guys. You can have them clean out a storage unit, and that's it. And I said, that's not.
These are
Oh,
unpaid storage units.
Unpaid. I'm
So
sorry.
they just clear their shit?
Yes, because it's past delinquency and everything. So you just kind of, I got that opportunity, and that's how I got this box truck. But now I'm expanding to other stuff. Like someone approached me saying, "Why don't you put like one of them LED, like an advertisement, like they do in Vegas?" I said, "That's pretty smart."
In a car?
And a truck,
On a truck.
square. So I got a couple of pictures. I looked at it. I said, "That's all you have to do is get another truck with that display.
I've never seen a truck
You know
like.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the size of a 80-inch screen or 200.
Oh, you talking about the Vegas
Yes,
ones?
sir.
Oh.
On the side of the thing, and it's not the money. I'm never worried about money because we live in America where we can get credit. But I think even if you have cash, that's not the problem. I think the biggest issue is I always have this anxiety about where do I get my customers. Some people have that ballsy behavior, like fuck it, we'll get in, we'll find out. I'm that type that's like, no, I need to see my steps.
You
first.
care. Yeah.
So, if I can do that and get one driver gets paid X amount of dollars an hour, all he has to drive or she has to drive is around maybe metropolitan area. It could Hollywood, it could be downtown LA, and you charge. I'm giving out game, by the way, y'all.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. It's
Go
okay.
ahead.
I ain't never that type though. So I wish
Yeah.
someone did that for me.
We
but it's
pass
all good.
information here. It's
Yes,
cool.
sir. That's
Yeah.
right. That's what we do. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we have this. So, I'm trying to get ideas on, restaurants. I mean, this is crazy because you're not tapping into one business. I can promote you if you wanted to get quote unquote, let's say 5 million people to follow you. So you pay me. I'll put your name up on the billboard and you can get 5 million. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's no limit to it.
It's crazy because every time I see them trucks, I see a lot of strippers in Vegas.
You too? I see that
That's it.
the Peacock.
Yeah, meet whatever, whatever name, whatever, a girl.
Hey, Coco.
Call her, go, yeah, champagne,
Coco, Angel.
Angel, all that. But
Yes, sir.
sorry, going back to
Sure.
box truck, we got carried away.
No worries. So yeah, so box truck. So they offered me this position, and now I'm still in it. But see how this whole thing started off with a tow truck. Now, who's to say after this box truck, Mickey might come up with something? I go, that's not a bad idea. It doesn't always have to be a transportation. This is my gateway to get to. There's no destination, bro.
Right,
There's no destination. It just keeps evolving.
100%. Like, this can be your beginning, but some people start off with like completely something different and come back, and then when they're like literally not peak, but when they're like really notable figure, they doing completely something different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, even we do that with schooling. I mean, you think about people who study psychology, who working in banking.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
So,
yeah.
And by the way, my tow truck, كبريت على الكويت.
It's a match. I'm gonna put the subtitle. I was trying to translate.
Yeah, I gotta explain it. Yeah, my bad. I forgot. Our audience don't
Yeah.
speak though. That means a match.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy. So, how is the boxing truck going, and how long has it been since you kind of tapped in that field?
okay, I would say about 7 months into it. Maybe it's before Christmas. So yeah, so it's about 6 months into it. It's going okay, to be honest with you. But now I'm trying to.
It's barely new.
It's new, but also, again, it's a box truck. You can do anything with it. So it doesn't have to be just storage. I can transport things from, Riverside to LA. So just getting contracts.
You're just getting ideas to like, oh, okay, I can do this with the storage, but like you said, the billboard, and you say bringing stuff over from here to A to B. I think you're figuring out a lot of lane
Yes.
within that actual
Industry.
business. But I say, I was gonna ask you, like, how is juggling those two gigs? Not gigs, your
Work.
businesses.
That's right. Yeah, I got you.
How does it feel to juggle two businesses, and how's your time management?
You don't notice it. It's second nature.
Oh, it's okay. Please speak on that,
Yes,
because
sir.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yes, sir. So when it's yours and it's something you're passionate about, you manage, like you said, there's time management that needs to be, but they kind of correlate with each other. So it's a transportation for both. So you kind of have, what's the word I'm looking for?
Parallel.
Like, yeah, they're parallel. So you don't have to, if you don't think about it, it just comes to second nature. It's because it's something you're babying. So
I was
it's
having this
second nature.
conversation with my brother. The other day. I was like, "Yo, I think we're at our busiest ever. Yet I don't even feel busy."
That's right.
You know,
That's what's up. That's real
Because
cool.
when you're actually doing a lot of things,
That's right.
and then you look at it, I'm like, damn, I'm actually really fucking busy.
That's right.
But there's still time to like.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I wanted to say something.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
when you said
please,
that.
go
And
ahead.
This is just a short line I'm going to say is that don't confuse movement for progress. Just the truth.
Explain it.
Yes, sir.
So
So,
this can be your IG clip. Right?
yes, sir.
I'm joking. Go
I
ahead.
got you. No, but
Repeat what you just said and
okay.
explain
So don't confuse movement for what would I say again? I'm sorry.
Progress.
Progress. So don't confuse movement for progress, because I know a lot of people that love to use the word "I'm busy." So busy, so busy. Doing what? You have 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5 job. You got no kids. What you're busy about? Because you're just spending time. You're moving. You just movement. You know, you're gonna go get something to eat. That's not being busy. I think we have so much time in our hands to make maybe 3 incomes in a day instead of 1.
100%.
It doesn't have to be until midnight. Some things can be worked as you're working at your 9 to 5. It can bring you some money while you're sitting.
sure,
Yeah.
for
If you had a
sure.
truck, let's just say yourself, you bought yourself a truck, you hire some guy. We're working. If you're working, this other person is doing the work for you, and he's happy too. He's getting paid, and you're not even paying attention to it once you set it up.
Right. There's so
don't
much
say
money
you're
to be
busy,
made. So
please.
much money to be made.
The only time you should be busy is when you're researching to find out what you want to do.
100%. Self-development
Self-development.
and whatever you're trying to do. Like, that's what I was saying. But I'm glad you said that. But let me add on to what you
Please.
said. I feel like even you're busy doing a 9 to 5, that's better than just
Doing that.
nothing, just
Absolutely.
on idle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's
money.
levels to it, like
Yes,
you
sir.
said. You're idle's broke. Being busy, I'm busy, blah blah blah. It could be like could be yeah, you're moving, but the next step is, like you said, busy, but you're utilizing your time to like get multiple sources of income.
Absolutely. And
You know
it
what I
tastes
mean?
good. I'm going to tell
Yeah.
y'all again, it tastes good.
Yeah.
Not just the value of the money, but the
Yeah.
fact that you're putting the maximum effort. I mean, what kind of legacy you leaving behind, bro?
Mhm.
When you're here. I mean, if you got family, you got to leave something behind for them. So
For sure.
you wasted it by kind of just kicking it. That's fine. 1 year, 2 years. But after,
Yeah.
many years, so you
That
know.
leads to, bro. I feel like that leads to depression.
And
though,
like you
low-key.
said, yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
what do we say earlier when you were talking? Idle, being what is it? Being idle is a devil's playground. So
For sure.
Yes,
100%.
sir.
100%. And that's what I was telling you about. Like, personally, having that conversation with my brother was like, yo, we're doing so many things, and it's like we still have. It doesn't feel like I'm busy, but again, the funniest part is we don't have enough time. Does that I don't
That's
know if
right.
That makes sense.
That's right. I mean, I watched your stuff. Sometimes you say you call out people indirectly about being lazy.
Oh,
I
facts.
like that. I like
Facts,
that.
yeah.
I mean, it's
You
gotta
gotta do
hurt, but.
Oh,
And you always talk about YouTube. I mean, that information is. Man, I wish I had that
YouTube
when
University.
I University of YouTube. I could get your doctorate degree,
That's
man.
right,
You
I
know
got
what
my
I'm saying?
master's.
That's
Oh.
right. So, I think if I had that in my young days, I think things. I mean, I'm not gonna make excuses, but you guys have an opportunity to just type anything; it'll teach you. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we all have 24 hours, right? And the fact that how you utilize. I know this sounds cheesy, I know, but
how
the
do you
fact that you
utilize
utilize it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're operating multiple different things. I'm operating multiple different. Aside from like 9 to 5, I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
And then I barely get 4 hours of sleep
Damn.
now
Damn.
because
Watching your mind.
Pacing.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
okay, I gotta do this. I gotta come here. I gotta shoot like 2 podcasts.
All right.
Gotta work here. Blah blah blah. Like it's a lot of stuff.
That's really great. But the thing is, I don't want you to scare people off because you're doing this for now.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
then you're
not
gonna
forever.
chill.
Yeah.
So you make that money early, and then you let it work for you down the line.
100%.
Excuse me. So a lot of people get intimidated. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to not sleep. But
But there's some folks that no knock to like somebody that's just I just want to work and just live my life. I don't want to stress out. Cool.
that's cool.
That's them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's go back to
Yes, sir.
our conversation.
Yes, sir.
Guys. We just always get
I
sidetracked.
know.
Juggling two businesses, you said it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And then the best earlier you mentioned it's not about money for me. I'm getting good at this, bro.
You are getting good at this, man. You
said
remember
it.
well, too.
Yeah. It's not about money for me. As long as I live in America, there's line of credit. Talk about that.
Yes, sir. So, Mickey, majority of the things that I accomplished, I wasn't getting paid well.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like I was making, $250,000 to afford a house or whatever. I honestly believe one of the biggest problems we have in the United States, I'm sure y'all listen to the news, is our debt.
Mm-hmm.
Our debt. And I know people
All-time high right now.
It is. And why is that? I mean, if people are getting paid more, how are you more in debt? Because of our habits. You got to have some. I mean, I'm not saying don't enjoy your life, but there's habits that people have. I watch on a daily basis. I go,
People
wow.
spend it before it comes.
Absolutely. And on a nonsense stuff. And it's all about upkeeping with the newer car. And I'm not saying don't get these things, but it's just know your level you're at in life. If you don't think you can afford it, get something you can afford. It's kind of like back home. Nobody's going to give you that much for a car. So I think the saving part is the most important thing, because if I have a business and I'm blowing everything, how am I going to buy another box truck? Or how am I going to move on to the next thing? So I think the biggest thing to take from this podcast today, if you guys can remember, would be saving, because I'm not saying eat, or Lord, I don't know, eat some chips to go, to
trail mix.
eat some trail mix and water for your diet.
No,
but
it's not about, like, that's the thing. When people bring up like a frugal mentality or frugal lifestyle, people associate it with like, no, you can always, first of all, your body should be well taken care of about what you eat or whatever. But where was I going with this?
It doesn't end. Our need doesn't end. You're going to keep
so-
spending.
Yeah. So, somebody can get a good job, right? Whatever, per se. And then they always feel like they need to reward themselves and then live up to society standards. Like, okay, now that you got a job, now you put yourself in debt buying a car that you can't afford. Hope said if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford
That's
it.
a very good point. That's
Right?
very
So
true.
now you buy a car. I know a lot of people that have like brand new cars, bro. Neither one, all of them, bro. They say, "Yo, I shouldn't have bought a car, bro. There's no
regret.
point." Yeah, regret. So,
Yes, sir.
like,
That's a very good point. I'm not. Look,
and then they gotta do wardrobe upgrade.
get caught up in that. Then
Yeah. Now you like.
Yeah.
Now you got three. Now you got to. You gotta live.
Right.
Rent is mandatory.
Right.
But now you gotta get some clothes. Now you gotta buy a car that you just park outside and just.
Need doesn't end, man. It does not end. It always need. But I think, again, on this podcast, what we want to try and express to people is that we're not saying I'm balling. I'm not. But to get to a balling stage,
You gotta do
you can't
these
just
things.
spend. If you give me $7 million today and I spent $7 million, how am I balling, man?
Yeah.
Like,
You
I'm
just
not-
had a good time.
You just had a good time for the time being. But you look at these moguls that they let money work for them. They had to start at $1 somewhere.
I'm glad you brought this up. You ever talk to people that say they be having like wishful thinking, be like, yo, if I won the lottery, 10 million, I wouldn't work. I'll be chilling. I'm like,
That's your problem.
that's why you don't have 10 million, motherfucker.
Number one, to start
That's why
with.
you don't have. That's why you don't have $1,000.
That's exactly.
Fuck
You're not a
outta here.
millionaire. You're a thousandaire too, man.
Yeah,
you
like,
know? So,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that kind of mentality that people has, I'm like,
And I think that's the thing we want to kind of harp on. Is that, again, I got on this podcast with you. We talk a lot, but it's about saving, because the society we live in, there's no end. I mean, to what we want. And if you're making $50,000, you could still be having a very good life. You know what I'm saying? If you know how
being
to.
frugal for a couple years.
Yeah, and then you can get something.
Yes.
And then you can live lavishly
Yes.
after that. So I think there's people around me who made more money than I do and still cannot afford to buy a house. And that tells you something right there. How did they make
Right.
double the amount I made? They had no kid responsibilities, but they can't buy a house at a certain time. And they really want to. It's not like they don't want to.
It's so sad that somebody can be making over 6 figures and they're still broke. Meaning, yeah, they earn income, but they blow it
paychecks away.
so much
2 paychecks away
from being broke.
Yes, sir.
Homeless.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you your spending habits. I think that's what the problem is. Like I said, I can
Sure.
look at you from head to toe. I can want everything you have. But then it's the programming. That's what it is. And we wake up in the morning. I had someone recently tell me, why didn't you answer when I called? Because I was trying to get a hold of you. And that person said, I have to keep my phone away for whatever, like an hour away after I wake up. I said, why? Because I'm so addicted to looking at TikTok. And I said, dang, you're wasting time, bro. Like, if you have to throw your phone away, that means you got some, reprogramming.
At least the person is trying to like
work on it. Don't get me
work
wrong.
on it.
But my
Yeah.
thing is, what does that tell you about how we didn't have this before? Now we're so programmed to
New problem.
constantly, yeah, exactly,
New
new
problem.
problem. We never had this before. So
Yeah.
I would love to see, if I had the wishful, magic wand, to see how many people finish it, to see what can they consume from this, because most people have short attention span.
Right.
So they might probably just, not say, it's not for me. Well, it's for everybody. You need money. The world, money makes the world go around.
Right. I mean, bro, like, use your time wisely.
That's
man.
all it comes down to. Use
Yeah.
your time wisely, and I it doesn't even have to be just like a business. I mean, you can buy a house in a brother, like two brothers, like you and your brother can buy a house, and you guys can rent it out. That's an income. It doesn't have to be a physical truck business. You know what I'm saying? My bad. So,
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, of course, the timing matters, of course, when you're purchasing it. But, I think saving and having an idea, at least have an idea. Because the reason I brought up this TikTok situation was because it takes up, occupies place in your brain
sure,
that
for sure.
you can't think like this. You can't say, what can I do to make more? Instead of saying, I've had a few people hit me up saying, how do I start my business? I was like, I can help you out. But they never follow through. It tells me you're not passionate about it. Because they like the way
Our
it looks.
community is so funny. It's so funny you brought that up. Some people would reach out to you for something just to be part of, just to say they do it right.
Absolutely.
And yet again, they're like, yo, I want you to blah, blah, blah. I want you to show me that. And then you'd be like, yeah, cool, right?
Gotcha, yeah.
And then they expect you to call them to show them.
Yeah, I do the work for them pretty much.
Yeah, like, I'm
kinda-
like,
yeah.
yeah, so Saturday, are you free? I'm like, yeah, hit me up.
And then
And then they get mad that
You
they didn't
didn't-
call you.
right.
That you didn't call
You didn't call them.
I'm
I'm like,
motherfucker, you
that's
wanna
your
do the
job. You know what I'm saying? You should come back to hunt me down because, I have someone, a
Yeah,
small
and the
edge on you.
fact that, you make time for somebody to be like, okay, I feel like they're going to do this, but they're not. It's
You're
just
right.
like,
Exactly. I mean,
like, get the fuck out of here.
exactly.
bro.
I don't think, and I always say that. I don't think he's serious. I always say that when I meet the person, based on the first passion that I see compared to a week later, I'm like, you're not really fully in it. It just sounds good to say, hey, oh man, you own your own business. I want to own my own business. It sounds good, by the way. A lot of people love the name entrepreneur. I'm rich. Oh, I
hate
own
that
for my.
fucking word,
I hate. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. We're
No,
not.
I mean, it's so like thrown
around,
too
right?
much.
It's not. Trust me. It's even. One. I only have like two companies. Not even like I'm. Bill Gates or whatnot.
I only have two companies.
Well, come on. Anybody can have a company if they really put their
yeah,
time into it. But basically, I'm not here to kind of boast or whatnot.
I mean, no. I mean,
It's just.
I've seen you,
Thank you, and that's what I was. Just
and I've
gonna say.
seen you went through a lot of hurdles with your businesses and stuff. These are conversations we have off
Thank you.
camera.
Yes, very.
know what I
and these
mean?
are exactly private conversations where some people do, when they can do like real damage to you, where they can come in your finance, where you can be homeless if these people were to pull the right triggers. And you ask yourself, like, man, I got to keep away from many people. I'm trying to run this myself. You know what I mean? But I didn't. Like I said, I got on this podcast because I want to share my experience to let the world or whomever's listening that honestly, man, I started from nothing. Like, honest to God, man. If you want me to get into figures, I purchased a house getting paid $18.50 an hour, bro.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So, that's game. I'm gonna give you guys game if anybody's willing to follow.
$18 an hour, and this man got half. Yeah,
That's right.
$18.50.
Yes, sir.
Grabbing up a crib.
Yes. So my mother told me, she said, how long are you gonna keep living like this with apartments, whatever, roommates? And I thought it was just too much responsibility. And long story short, I start stealing from myself. I don't know how I came up with it. And
Yo, I'm glad you said that because you gave me this game
Yes,
a few years ago about steal from yourself all the time, and I was like, that sounds good. I'm cheap, but I'll do it.
he said, I'll do it.
I barely
do
spend
$5.
money. Yeah, I'm
still,
very cheap.
You still right back.
Yeah.
You just still
I'm
right
like, I
back.
barely touch money, but
Yeah.
it's like, but sometimes I mess up, whatever. But
Yeah, it's okay.
Go ahead.
But look, so I don't know if the people who I
Dissect
take money-
that stealing
Sure
from
thing.
yourself part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it started off with $50, or was it like $30 a week? I had a set up account because I know I'm not disciplined to put money away. So I had it pull for me automatically.
On
You
auto.
pay just like you pay your cell phone.
On
or
auto.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So auto pay, and then I was like, I'm still living the same. Let me do it to 50, see what happens. And nothing happened. I said, dang, man. And then tax money came. I ain't getting nothing but put that stuff in the bank. And then the $70, this $100 kept going, and you're just living. So I could do that to you or anybody.
How long did that go for?
2 years.
What was, so looking back, right?
Yes, sir.
After 2 years, she looked back how much you saved. Was the number like, damn?
It caught me off guard because I never looked at it. Because I
At all?
I didn't want to get tempted. Because, you're young guy, and I was like, what, 32 maybe?
Yeah.
And I wanted to like buy like a nicer car,
Yeah.
rims, whatever the hell it is, toasters with spinners, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But,
For the peanut butter jelly, huh?
yeah, exactly. So, but what I did was, I realized at one point, I forgot, I think it was like after the second time I got the tax return, and it was a larger amount because I forgot something changed. I think I got a boost or something like that, whatever. So, and I right away, when I checked it, I was like, dang, man, I'm not too far, but I don't know if I want to buy a house because I always had this fear, like if I lose my job, I'll lose the house too.
So it was good enough for like a down payment on a crib.
Almost. And then when you get that drug, you taste it, you're like, oh, I'm almost there. So now I need like $4,000 or whatever it was, or 15. So you get what you can, and then now when you have something to work for, you'll do it. Just whatever it is. If you have something to work for, you'll do more. But if it's just luxury, like working out, right? Like working out is luxury. But if it's your heart, it will stop beating next week. If you don't work out, you'd do it.
Oh yeah.
So
for sure.
when you have incentives, I think
Yeah.
you'll do it. So that's how I ended up doing it, and then it becomes a habit, Mick. I think when you get decent money, you still think about how to make money. And I have people, like I live with people, right? Meaning like my
We'll get
place.
there too,
Okay, I got you. That was the next thing.
No,
Go
go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was
Talk
just gonna say. So my place, I rent it out, and instead of like, see, that's the thought process changes now. I could be just comfortable, but I said I need more money. I got to make more money. So that's what I'm saying. It's a pattern. You started from saving, and then once you get into the house, you're like, okay, now I'm done. No, I said no. I need to make more money.
So explain this.
Sure.
How you saved enough money to almost get a down payment,
Yes.
and then you built on that. And when you you was working the $18.50 an hour job,
sir.
you were there 2 years. So you need a 2-year income, right?
Yes.
For them
For
to
them
approve
to
you.
approve you, yes.
So by the time you used that to give them the down payment, and then you had the 2-year W-2, whatever your taxes, and it worked.
It worked. I think the fear, like I said earlier, the fear is much stronger.
Or they might
than-
deny me type shit.
Yes.
Okay.
The fear of buying, ask anybody, buying a house, their face changes. If a person was sitting right here right now and they just do one of these, when you say, hey, why don't you think about buying a house? Oh, yeah, I think.
just coil
yeah,
up and
because
shit.
it's just like I said, my height fear, the same thing. I think the thought of it scares you. But once you, kind of determine that you're going to get this, let it be $2 a week. I don't care. It'll get there. Some steps are better than none. You can never miss a shot. You never, what they say, you
miss 100% of the
100%
shots
shots
you
you'll
don't
never take. Yeah. So that's the motto I live by till this day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you got the crib, and then you figured out a house hack, which you kind of mentioned earlier. So talk about the house hack you had. And I mean, that was actually a brilliant idea
Which
for
one?
you. The house hack of you basically, having roommates.
That's right.
Instead, like you said, you were comfortable.
Right.
You could be comfortable and just live on
Just
your own.
life. I'm missing
But the fact that you have, that house hack of like, I could live here with some people, having people
know.
around that and still that, you getting paid from it, or
Absolutely.
as paying the mortgage or
Absolutely.
whatever.
And I'm not, again, like a rich person can probably buy 3 of those homes and just say, I'm living life. Me, I afford one. I can afford one at the time. I got one. So when that's happening now, if life changes, maybe I'll just rent the place out and go somewhere else. But in the meantime, why let 2 bedrooms go to waste? And you can also absolutely helping someone else, but you're also helping your pocket. Straight
It
up.
helps your pockets and being around people too.
Being around people. I mean, you don't gain anything by. I mean, people talking about privacy. I mean, I'm a grown man. I don't think you need. There's nothing that much
Yeah.
you need at this point.
I mean, if you got your own room, that's the privacy. you need. Like,
whatever they hear.
A living room is to live in it with people.
Exactly.
Yeah, so-
Absolutely. So I think it might seem frugal or a cheap way to go, but if you haven't gotten to that level yet of owning a home or owning a business, if I can do it with minimal amount, I'm sure now certain things are possible. If you can't do it with your spouse. If you can't do it with your spouse, do it with your brother. But because back when I got it, it was a little bit cheaper than it was now.
Yeah.
So I had that.
What year was it?
2010.
10.
Yeah.
2 years after the recession.
Yes, sir. That was a good timing. Capitalize. So when you have cash, that's what I'm always telling. So I'm trying to tell you, like, if you have cash, you can make decisions. Like, how did I go buy that box truck before the person changed their mind? Because I had cash. I have cash at all times. If you can, that's the thing. I can have people have it 9 to 5, and they can even do Uber at the evening. They still blow that money. That's what I'm saying. Like, no matter how much you're making, you keep spending. Have cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, like you said, people want to, like, impress people that don't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yeah, they're your friends, but they don't care, bro. Nobody cares. I'll be honest with you, bro. When you die, no one gives a shit.
Exactly.
They come and they say, he was a good nigga.
That was it.
Go back to their fucking products.
That's right.
That's it.
I mean, like I said earlier, what kind of legacy are you leaving behind? Yeah. Because, I don't have to be on this to give game like that, but I don't know how many people would do it. Because a lot of people in our culture don't want to give game. They feel like they're going to lose something by giving some type of information. And I think that's terrible.
You blessing somebody else.
I hope somebody does listen and say, hey, or, even if they ask you. That's the problem
with our culture, bro. Like,
exactly.
If somebody can get, like, a nice piece of information, go ahead and do about it. Live their life about it. But, somebody might reach out to them and be like, yo, how'd you do it? They'll be like, oh, it's tough.
You don't want to discourage you.
You don't want, like, they'll discourage. They'll be like, no, you don't want to trust me. I had to go through it. I'm like, bro, just pass the info, whatever you know.
Nothing's gonna hurt you. And
in fact, bro, God bless you more when you bless others.
Amen. Amen. That's exactly it. And I think, me and you share a lot. We talk a lot about money and stuff. And it's not about greed. We're not trying to, like, we don't talk about just money for the sake of money. We're talking about growth. Like, money buys you comfort. Let's be real.
Bro, you don't have to be apologetic. Fuck that. Fuck that.
It's just, because people...
No, fuck that. Yeah, okay. It is about money.
Okay.
Because, if it's not... Let me tell you something. That's what I tell people. I'd be like, yo, it's not... I'm like, bro, if you don't give a fuck about money, don't go to school.
Don't go to work.
Don't work. Sit your ass in the couch. And they'll give you 2 months. They're going to kick your ass out the house.
It's needed. Yeah, money's needed.
If it's a need and... if you go get it, what's wrong with getting the need?
And get more.
And more of it to be in a comfortable situation where you can change your family's lives. Why the fuck did we come to America?
Very true.
Why do we come to
America? We have opportunities.
Our parents brought us here for us to have an opportunity to live better.
Absolutely.
So don't give me that. No, I don't want to hear it, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and I think we all have, I shouldn't say all, but we have opportunities. We all have 5 fingers in each hand, majority,
Niggas trying to sound like Bob Marley, bro. It's not about me. What is life?
What is life?
The motherfucker's rich, bro. This nigga sold out arenas, probably get made $1 million a show, and then, you know what I'm saying? But they see that and be like, yeah, it's not rolling up. We like, it's not about, shut the fuck up. It is about
money. It is about money, And I think, like you said, the reason I came here to bless someone who's kind of confused, like, I always wanted to buy a house, or I always wanted to do this, but I don't know where to start. They can come to you and say, hey, man, what was that thing you had on your podcast? Like, did you guys say something about saving? How was that again? And then you explain to them from what you know. So.
Bro, like, I try to listen. It's the fucked up part, right? I give out, sometimes on YouTube, right? When you look at something, they give you surface level information.
Because they want you to subscribe and pay.
No, it's not even about that. Let me explain.
Gotcha.
So if you go on YouTube and search how to make money online, they'll give you an idea of it. But that's on you to do the research. But what most people when they search is, they will search that, and then they get mad at the person giving them the idea because they want to be fully fed the information. I'm like, bro, so I come on here on YouTube. If I don't have guests or whatever, I come in here and I say a lot of stuff. And then they look at me like, what the fuck you talking about, bro? But I'm like,
But that's the
if you knew, my nigga.
if you knew, and that's why I'll always have employees because they don't want, nobody wants to be an entrepreneur. So I mean, you're doing a wonderful job, to be honest with you, man. I watch your shows, and they're versatile. Mostly it's about money.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that you're exposing certain things that are deficient.
It's
a Guns Up Club, and that's right. And it's also calling out deficiencies that we have in our culture.
Yeah.
If it's not always glamour you're talking about. It's like, hey, we need to cut back on this or whatever. But
if a nigga's mad at you for you doing right, bro, he's hurt.
Yeah. That's how you.
I'm like, go fix your life, bro.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't hate on nobody when I was broke as fuck. Try that. See how that goes.
How it might work out.
You know what I mean? Like, I have bitches hit me up on Instagram talking about, nigga, you ain't even that lit. I'll be like,
who cares,
okay,
man?
cool.
Yeah, you just say who cares because when I was.
But these are the things just because of
challenges.
They'll see my little previews or whatever of me talking about money or whatever. And a couple of videos I had, like, I was telling people try to rack up 100 this year.
They can't.
And then they be like, you ain't even got 100. I'm like, who are you talking
Why are you
to,
blaming?
motherfucker?
First of all, you don't know. And second of all, I mean, I think instead of focusing on others, just do the best you can. Can you stack up 50? You ain't got to be 100. Can you strive? That's all it is. I mean,
that's what I said. I said, if you aim for 100 and land in 50, you still won.
Right.
At 30, you still won.
That's right.
At 2, you took a loss, my nigga.
Absolutely.
That's a far reach to 100.
And then think about it. It's usually when you don't have money when things are cheap. Meaning, houses might drop, but by that time,
you have leverage of the cash.
But if you don't have that, what, you gonna prepare then? You're gonna start then? You can't start after it's.
But these are people, bro. Like if somebody's trying to. I mean, I get it. The internet is all jokes. I understand. I love it too. I love the ratchet shit. And we laugh about it.
Oh, we had a good time about it
yesterday. But if someone is saying something, I understand why he said it. Don't look at, the way I speak, right? And my car don't match. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let's go deeper now, a deeper level, so people understand. So when people see me driving, like, I don't need a Range car, Rover,
yeah.
I don't, because I know I don't need it.
That's right.
But I can go pull out some clean.
Cash.
Yeah. But they see that. But our problem, black people in general, they associate image.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He must be doing good for himself. He's got that car. No, it's America again. We got
money. You don't see me with fucked up hoopties all the time.
In fact, that's a good disguise. Seriously, that's a good disguise. I don't think many people got it in them to pull that off. And you and I know we talk about our money, but
right.
You see, I don't try to ball.
That's what
I
don't
want to attract Maserati. First and foremost, that's a house. that's a house with 4 wheels right there. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So.
And that's the kind of conversation we have. So
daily.
This kind of shit I deal with, but keep whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
so. Finally, to summarize everything we talked about, save, and use your time. Look, put 30 minutes aside. Just 30. Not even 2, 4, 5 hours. Just 30 minutes aside to get ideas. That's all it is. Get just 30. If your life is going just boring and just working, you're sick of it. If you're a barista at Starbucks, I don't care. Sit down, 30 minutes of your day. You do that on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Sit down, see what works. Choose 5 things that you might like to do. Research about it. If you don't like it, move on. But at the same time, I guarantee you, if there's anyone out there, if I take $5 away from them every week or every day,
they won't even notice it.
They won't notice it. But the problem is when we see that balance, you feel like you have money, so you want to go spend. Don't do that. Steal from yourself automatically. If you can do every Friday, I challenge all of y'all to take $50 a week automatically from your banking account to a saving account that you're not going to check it. Discipline yourself. Let it take it automatically. Tell me if your life don't change. Give it a year.
Patience.
Patience is a
you learn patience as you get older. When you're young, you're like, nah, I want it now. Microwave status.
Yes, sir.
But bro, that was amazing. That was a good game, by the way, that you just gave out.
Yeah, just
steal from yourself
and spend 30 minutes a day to find out what would be your. Do you see yourself 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself? That's all it is. It doesn't have to be like this glamorous stuff. Just do you see yourself still as a barista at Starbucks? That's it. 30 minutes a day will save you 30 years of agony.
That's where stagnancy, right? When somebody's stagnant and they don't see like I don't know where I'm, blah blah blah. That's when, if that's you, that means you need your soul is telling you need some change.
Absolutely.
In order to be happier. So that's when you gotta make the transition, be ready. So once you have enough saved money, you can afford to like quit that job and just look for something.
And I'm proud of you, because if I was as wise as you were at your age, I don't know where I would be, honest to God, because it requires digging to find information. You can't.
I dug a lot.
Yeah, it won't just come in your hands like this. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Thank you, bro. No, my pleasure. But it's the honest truth, because suffer now so you can be happy later. Suffer meaning lose a couple hours of sleep to make whatever your craft.
Yeah, we had a 4-hour nights every night, 3 max.
Yeah.
No, 4 max, 3 like on the regular.
Average. Yeah.
But I got a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
Where do you see towing business and the box trucking business? Where do you see that in a 5 to 10 year span?
All right. So like I mentioned earlier, my idea is for this to be a gateway. Look, I would love to have it continue as is and then grow, but my focus is not this right now. Meaning, it is here, but I'm thinking see how this towing business brought me attention to the box truck, and the box truck brought me to something else right now. So when that
stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone. So who knows? What if I'm doing so well that the business might be like, I'll just probably lease it. I don't have to. Look, I'll give you the whole thing. Just give me three grand a month. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. You make $7 million. That's one box truck. Here's $3,000. Do whatever you want with it. Now I'm on the third level, and then that's gonna get you real estate. Real estate, you just So my idea is not. I don't want to be fixated on the transportation. There's so many things. Just like we talked about the box truck advertisement. Whoever thought that was gonna come?
You can even sell the company if it's
worth, and the name itself is worth a lot, because
Nearby Towing.
It's called Nearby Towing,
and
which
I forgot to plug it.
It's okay, no worries. It automatically sells itself, and I don't think that's the only reason I don't want to lose this company, is because the name, I don't think 5-10 years from now it'd be very difficult to get, because it sells itself. Search engine automatically picks up on it. So
that's hard, bro. So you have ideas of for yourself, but for the company you want to use it as a stepping stone to like move to other.
Absolutely, because I know this is not the end. This is not going to give me the satisfaction that I was wanting. It's a good start.
Okay, that's
It's like lifting weights. You get a little pound, you're like, okay, I'm fine, and then you have a vision.
On the 9th week, you're like,
hey, veins are coming out.
I get what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing, bro.
Yes,
proud of you. You know what I'm saying?
So very much.
We've been talking for years, bro.
Yeah. And there was times where I was just like, man, I think I'm done, man. I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
It does come out. You guys be.
I was like, yo, thug that shit out, bro.
I'm like, man, it's easy for you to say I'm dying here. You know what I mean? But then you just keep fighting, and if you keep at it, you can't lose.
At all.
You can't
lose.
All. Yeah. Yeah, because you get better at it.
Yep.
and you become. I don't want to say bulletproof, but you take more and it doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah.
First time I remember, I could tell you a quick story. First got my tow truck. I remember the reverse light used to just kind of pop off any minute. I thought that was the worst thing in the world. I said, I can't drive this truck.
The white light when you reverse it?
I freaked out. I can't drive this. Now, I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
Because you become so desensitized from tribulations, you're like, I've seen worse. Don't even worry about it. If it got 3 wheels, I'm still driving that truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts,
rims
bro.
great, scraping
Facts.
on the floor. So, I want to help anybody as much as I possibly can.
Usually when problems arise, people focus on the problem more. So like, okay, and that happened. How do we solve it? That should be, our initial thought. But
and I think that's why if we had a great community to reach out to. Like to reach out to someone and say, hey man, this is why I'm going through this. What did you do to get out of it? But the problem is we don't do that. And I know this guy, there's a couple of times where I told him a lot of problems, and he was like, but you keep telling me problems, but where's the solution? I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just because you blank. I'm not gonna blame you because you blank out when you're in the midst of it. But what I want to say is that there's always answers.
Weather
from
the storm,
somebody.
bro.
And
That's
if you have supporting people around you that can give real answers, it'd be great for all of us to have to reach out to one another and say, hey man, he's good at this. I mean, reach out to Tommy because he's this and that. You know what I'm saying? So
utilize people.
We don't
right.
have that though. That's the problem. We need to kind of focus on that. Everybody has a gift, and tap into whomever got that gift.
100%, bro. Man. Before we go,
yes, sir.
I always ask my guests, right? Top of your head, hit us with some. I know you gave a lot of game.
Yes, sir.
I think you have the most quotable stuff for Instagram. But hit us with some motivation. Floor is yours. Just
any motivation.
Yeah,
okay.
Just say something.
Some of us will get some. The road will be smoother than others. Some of us would have extremely rocky roads that we would never imagined. But even in your just personal life, you look back, you got through it. So, you know what I'm saying? And if you tell me that, like, this is going to happen to you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Wait, if you ask me to go back and, like, watch a movie of myself from the past few years, I would laugh at you. I can't go through that. That's scary. But I did. Because I was going in increments. I didn't feel it. So, just like life, just some people have it a little bit easier because we don't know what's going on behind. We don't know what's going on behind there. I know.
Don't worry about it.
We don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but you do see certain things in their lives that's like, okay, they're fortunate, man. They got this, they got that, they got this. But some of us have it difficult. But the thing is, when you overcome that, it's so much sweeter. I'll give you a quick thing to kind of close it off with.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
So let me ask you a question. If a person was homeless and was on drugs and all these bad things in their lives, and they get an apartment and they clean themselves up, right? They won. But now, let's say a rich person came from a royal family and got an apartment. Is it the same?
No.
Exactly. So when you go through tougher.
I'm going to tell you why. Being born in a rich family is it's actually like, I feel like it's just a blessing, bro.
Okay.
You know, when you're set up, that's the beauty about money, right? When you're set up to a situation where you're comfortable with money. Now when you have kids,
they're set.
You did the work for the kid. Does that make sense?
That's right.
So you can't blame the kid for being rich.
Right.
But we blame rich kids.
No. I hear you.
Us, you know
yes, sir. I think what I was trying to say was the weight of someone overcoming something is so much sweeter than just hand it out.
Because a rag to riches story makes more sense.
Sure. Makes sense, and it's more.
So it goes back to what I was saying, right? So. If a royal family or whatever, he wants to get an apartment, who's funding it? Is he doing it himself? Is he starting from scratch, saying, you know what, I don't need my family's money. I need to work on myself and make my own money. Right. Usually it doesn't happen like that. That's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
which is completely acceptable.
Fine.
Like, I wouldn't want my kids to struggle.
No. I want them to have a better idea of how to make money and not to worry about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So
you're right.
So money is like,
it's a big tool, man.
It's a big tool. And you said something I wanted to pick up, but I got distracted by the question. No, but go ahead.
So just to finalize it, that was it. It's just it resonates more with people going from rags to riches than talking about rich already, because majority of us did not come from rich, like a wealthy family. So my point to you is there's struggles ahead. There will be, and if you prepare for a punch, like right now, if I'm about to hit you, you clench your jaw. But if you don't see it coming, that's why they call it sucker punch. Yeah. Because it hurts because you didn't see it coming. So the same thing with life.
I remember what you said. Damn, that battery's about to die, but we focus right
here. Okay.
The fact that I would say a painful story or a painful situation after some years turns to comedy because you laugh about it.
Very good point. Wow. Good point.
You laugh about it, right? So whatever you went through,
oh my God,
you look back and you're like, you remember, and then it becomes literally a joke.
You laugh. You remember how I reacted.
During that moment,
it's hell.
Like,
it's hell, man. It's hell.
You know, you know, no disrespect to anybody. There's people that take their lives out because of that. There's some people that go to deep depression.
Drugs.
But overcoming any bad, death, dead, problems, whatever, once you overcome it, you look back and say, that was kind of funny.
That was cool, yeah. And then, and like I said, like you said too, it's sweeter. It's a lot sweeter.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to add on.
Yes, sir.
I just
That's a
about
very
it.
good point. So I appreciate
So,
you having me on.
yeah.
Really, I had so much.
Yeah, and also I wanted to say, like some people might feel like you said, you might feel like you might go through a bunch of pain, but some people know how to hide the pain. They might be going through worse pain than you.
True.
You know what I mean?
Very good point.
And also, whatever position you're at right now is a consequence of you 3, 4, 5 years ago. Whatever you did, that's what happened to you. So some person might be, right now you might see him be like, oh, I've never seen them struggle, but they might be disciplined all year round for the past 6, 7 years. You know what I mean?
Very good point.
So
very good point.
it's always, I always see like, there's not one human being that's not gonna go through pain, struggle, challenge. But some people know how to hide it. Some people know how to play cool. Some people know how to do all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That's a very good point. That's a really great point.
So so it's about hiding it, people playing their part, and that's why assumption is a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? We always assume about people.
Like they haven't made.
Why is he like, not like in a hating way, but like, and I wonder like, yo, this person, we don't know. We don't know deep down.
Absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're so right. And finally, your habits make you who you are. I have a friend that since we were kids, he's always taken a path where I was like, nah, I'm gonna take a school year off, or I'm gonna relax. He reads. I play video games. You know what I'm saying? So your daily habits make you who you are.
100%.
Just remember that. So
100%.
even as adults, I know people don't even listen to the news, don't even know what's going on around the world, is what I'm saying. Like, not that type of news, but I'm saying around the world. If you don't know what's popping, how are you going to know what the future is, what's coming out?
For sure, bro.
And I know a lot of people who are unaware. It was because of their habits, and they teach that to their kids. Just throw them in front of a TV, he shuts up. That's not the way I want to raise my kids, because you mentioned about our parents. If they give us, you don't want to raise your kids, in poverty or whatever. So the best thing you can do is set a foundation for your future children, and give yourself, what's the word I want to use? Just teaching wealth instead of just, because my pops, I love him to death.
Yeah. Shout out to pops.
That's right. 9 to 5 was the way I was taught, and that's why I told you about, living out there, because that's all I knew. But now that I know this, I'll teach my kid there's options. It doesn't. I still want my kid to go to school just to have that discipline, but I don't want him or her to think that
that's the only way out.
Only way, because that's what we obviously people do as often is you're more successful if you wear that tie and you work at that bank. That's the only way you're like. It's sad because that's all they know. But now that you and I have been exposed to the second generation, in the United States, we're very fortunate to explore the YouTubes, and we know a lot more than our parents did at the time. So we can't blame them.
They did the best for us.
What they did, what they can.
What we're gonna do for our kids is like the best we can do. Our kids is gonna do something better than us. It's always gonna be an incline.
Well, it's most definitely. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, great way to put it.
Yeah, but. Unless you like LeBron's kid, I'm like,
or
it's kind of hard to like.
It's kind of just kind of.
No disrespect.
It's okay.
But that's where we at. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming.
I appreciate you.
That was a great conversation.
Really, really enjoyed it.
We do this daily off camera.
I know. Anyways. We just kind of like trying to bring back everything we talked about into one. But tomorrow could be about like.
We covered a lot of topic. I wish, you gotta come back. We do. I'm gonna start doing some ratchet episodes.
Oh,
that's talk about some women.
Salute. I would love.
We gotta bash these bitches now.
You can get me shot. You can get me shot, man. I want to survive to see my company grow.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. We just gotta talk about some stuff. Fun stuff.
I think I kind of mentioned to you that we have to focus on our culture, meaning especially the Habesha culture that we have. That holds us back, which is our Achilles heels. We need to work on that. It could be relationships. It could be talking about each other's back when, during shisha sessions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we got to work on that. That's my passion.
Yeah, we gonna dissect all that shit soon.
So don't hate us though.
You gotta come back.
Yes, sir. I'm here. No, most definitely. Thank you so very much, man. I really appreciate it.
Let's do a thumbnail. So look over there and just do a camera pose. Yeah, there you go.
How you like me
one
now?
more. Whatever pose you want to do. I don't even know. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much.
Yes, sir.
You're the best. Thank you.
Be safe.
Keep up what you're doing,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Really, I appreciate
yes,
you.
Sir.